Hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 4 of our Professional Development Workshop Series. In Session 3, we focused on differentiation and accessibility in 4th grade in Visions and CKLA standards using Google Slides and Pear Deck. We explored strategies such as visual support, sentence stems, chunking directions, and scaffolding learning opportunities. Today, we're going to focus on something equally as important, giving students alternative ways to demonstrate their mathematical and comprehension understanding in both Envisions and in CKLA. So, today's learning objectives. By the end of today's session, you will create one Padlet assessment that allows students to explain either mathematical reasoning, reflecting on strategies, communicating understanding in ways that go beyond traditional worksheets, as well as understanding their reading comprehension. So, why alternative assessments? One challenge in both mathematics and in ELA assessments is that we often only see final answers. Students may solve correctly but not fully understand why. Or students may be able to answer comprehension questions but aren't able to find the evidence within the text to support their reasoning. Other students may understand a concept but struggle to express it in traditional written form. Alternative assessments help us uncover student thinking. Instead of asking students to circle an answer or write equations or write yes or no questions for comprehension, we invite them to explain their reasoning, reflect on mistakes, and communicate their understanding and showing evidence within the text. So let's get started. Today we're going to use Padlet, a brand new, well, not brand new, but brand new for all of you, a new tool that we are going to use to enhance and advance our technology tools. Padlet allows students to either record short videos responding to teacher prompts, and this is especially useful in mathematics because students can explain strategies, talk through mistakes, and reflect on problem solving. It's also going to allow students to pre-plan their writing for my CKLA teachers. It's going to allow them to create different brain webs to really organize their thoughts when writing questions, even Venn diagrams to compare and contrast. So you can even bring this into science and social studies, so not just our two core subjects. If this is your first time using Padlet, you're going to sign in and log in using your Google account. Many schools already support this single sign-in, making setup very simple. Or you can just go ahead and log in as a new one. Once you're inside Padlet, we're going to create a new activity. So think of a topic as a student assessment or prompt. So let's go ahead and look at Padlet. As you can see, there are many boards to collect and organize our content. We have tables, timelines for my social studies teachers, or maps. As I said, with our CKLA, organizing your thoughts to create your stories or your papers and essays. So there's a brainstorming web, a presentation that they can orally present, a Venn diagram, a question of the day for teachers. Lots of times, teachers will just want to go right on into the main subject and content and standard of the lesson. But sometimes students just need to warm up their brains. So starting out your day in a morning meeting before to your core subject areas and asking a question of the day just to warm up their brains, and it can even be something as silly as, what did you have for dinner yesterday? What do you want to do over the weekend? Do you have any fun summer plans coming up? Or it could also be a previous lesson that you taught last week or even the day before to refresh their memories. Who can tell me what a numerator is? What is the setting and plot of the story from yesterday? We also have discussion boards, and this is really interesting and cool because students can collaborate with one another and teachers can collaborate as well, and making sure we are monitoring and making sure everything is school appropriate and on focused. So they can have discussion boards. What do you think will happen in the next chapter? How did you solve this mathematical question? So discussion boards allow students to collaborate and discuss and work together. You can even have your lesson plans, a reading list, timeline, announcements, bulletin boards. There are so many things. A poll. Maybe you are reading a story in CKLA. What do you think will happen next? And you can take a poll. Or you can have a mathematical problem and say, how many of you think the answer is this? How many think the answer is that? So there are lots of really cool activities and ideas for both students and teachers to come together and collaborate and work on multiple assessments as well as group work with more than one students working together. So this is Padlet. So these types of assessments gives us insight into reasoning. Students are not only solving, they're explaining. So we can explain how you got 6/8 and 3/4 that are equivalent by using a model, and you can draw if needed. A lot of those Padlet examples can show drawing and showing models of why those two fractions are equivalent. This encourages students to justify their mathematical thinking instead of just guessing. You can set clear expectations for students while you are monitoring in those discussion boards and keeping a close eye. So you can say, please explain your thinking clearly, showing your work if possible, and telling us why your strategy makes sense. You can even set time limits so responses are focused and staying on task. From a student perspective, the process is simple. Students click on the prompts, record their short explanation, and submit their responses. This can feel much less intimidating than a traditional written response, especially for students who benefit from that verbal explanation. A worksheet tells us whether an answer is right or wrong, but a Padlet response tells us how students think. We can hear the miscommunications, reasoning, confidence, vocabulary use, and the problem-solving processes. Padlet also works well for reflection. What mistake did you make today, and what did you learn from it? This helps build metacognition and student ownership of their learning. So now your next steps is I want you to have your turn at this. I want you to create a Padlet assessment assigned to either a 4th grade Envisions objective or a CKLA standard. Make sure students are asked to explain their mathematical reasoning or finding evidence from the text to justify their answers, not just provide the answer. Your goal is to design an assessment that students could realistically complete in your classroom. I also have a discussion prompt that I'm going to again put in this module in Google Classroom. So after you're creating your assessment, upload it to Google Classroom and respond to this discussion prompt. Please review one colleague's assessment and offer supportive feedback. And how does your assessment improve your students' mathematical and/or CKLA communication compared to those traditional worksheets that we have all grown to use? So thank you again for joining our session. Today we explored how alternative assessments can deepen our understanding of student thinking and mathematical reasoning. In session 5, we're going to learn how to collect formative assessment data quickly and efficiently using Google Forms. See you in the next session, and of course, any questions, comments, or concerns, please email me at stallcourtney@illyriaschools.org. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.